Yeah, well, just last week, the governor supported the CDC's recommendation to loosen isolation and quarantine guidelines for essential employees. That includes teachers. But after today's call, it's still unclear if any school districts are moving forward with that just yet. In less than a week, Hudson Valley students will return to the classroom, and school superintendents were hoping for a little guidance on how to keep them there, and they got just that, a little guidance. Hochul didn't say much on guidelines or those new CDC recommendations, but did offer something school leaders desperately need: more tests.
If you have some symptoms, if you have a cold, if whatever it is that you may have, that you could test negative and then move on.
Several Hudson Valley school districts moved to remote learning in the weeks leading up to the winter break because cases were rising and tests weren't available.
I don't think there's a teacher out there that's going to argue we don't need to have schools open.
And on that call, the governor indicated her school mask mandate will continue and pledged to send more test kits so they're more readily available to students and staff.
Providing the needed testing for children who may be caught in a contact trace or isolation situation to be able to test and continue to come to school.
A lack of vaccinations for school-age kids is also a problem. 64% of 12 to 17-year-olds statewide are fully vaccinated, compared to just 17% of 5 to 11-year-olds.
So, Jonathan, on that call, the governor, of course, urged all districts to implement a test-to-stay option. How are local districts reacting to that?
Well, for the most part, positively. White Plains, for example, is holding a meeting next week to consider it as long as the state or federal government can provide enough kits for students, because most districts cannot handle that additional demand without the additional resources. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Jonathan.